Page 229. Analyzing the legitimacy of online sources. Online, modifier, sources, modified element, online sources. Online is a compound. The modifier is a compound. Therefore you get middle, low, and high. Online sources. A great deal of excellent material. Excellent, modifier. Material, modified element. Excellent material. A great deal of excellent material can be found on the internet, much of it for free. But not everything online is legitimate. Legitimate. Notice the suffix. Accent falls 2 syllables before. Legitimate. In fact, because the electronic medium is so difficult to regulate by governmental regulatory bodies, much illegitimate and even illegal material, such as hate literature, goes unchecked, and its producers avoid prosecution. Governmental bodies, regulatory bodies, two kinds of modification for the same modified element. Governmental regulatory bodies. However, there are guidelines you can follow to make sure you are using only proper sources. Much of the following advice can also be used to assess the legitimacy of regular print sources. Print sources. This is not a compound. There are print sources and electronic sources. Here the accent is on print because it underscores the understood contrast between print sources and other kinds of sources, such as the electronic. Therefore, much of the following advice can also be used to assess the legitimacy of regular print sources. 1. Look for the name of the writer. If you find one, do an independent online search of the name to see what, if anything, anyone else says about this person and what associations this person has. An independent online search. Independent is a modifier of search. Online is also a modifier of search. Therefore, these two modifiers appear in prenominal position, and they're pronounced in a sequence like this. Do an independent online search. An independent online search. Are the associations with reputable organizations? If the source is not attributed to an actual name of a person, make sure that, at the very least, a reputable organization claims responsibility for the material. Notice this, responsibility for the material. This is the structure I call X of Y, or X preposition Y. X preposition Y. This structure usually goes middle, low, and high, as in the Queen of England, or the Prince of Wales, or in this case, responsibility for the material. Do an independent online search of the organization. See what other organizations say about it, and ultimately, based on the information you have gathered, use your common sense. 2. Is the writer of the source, again this is X of Y, the writer of the source, is the writer of the source biased toward a particular point of view? Point of view, X of Y. Is the writer of the source biased toward a particular point of view because of a connection to an organization with a specific agenda? Be aware of the one-sided approach of such writers. The one-sided approach. The compound modifier and the modified element. One-sided approach. Be aware of the one-sided approach of such writers. Does he or she give the other side fair play? Does he or she give the other side fair play in his or her writing? Is there a demonstrated respect for the other side of the argument? Try to discern between a point of view and an attack on an individual or identifiable group. Notice the X of Y pronunciations. An attack on an individual. An attack on an identifiable group. An attack on an individual or an attack on an individual or identifiable group. See the section Common Fallacies in Chapter 28, Argumentation. There are countless organizations, especially on the World Wide Web, whose only purpose, it seems, is to spew hatred at a particular group or groups of people. Avoid these attacks altogether. The writers who have the most credibility and develop the best arguments on a topic are, without question, those with no obvious agenda and no particular stake in the matter. Pieces written by such objective analysts, therefore, often make the best sources for your research paper. 3. Is the writing well edited and relatively free of errors? Is the site well designed and professionally presented? Has the site been revised recently, or does it seem to have been abandoned after being established a long time ago? In other words, how well is the site being maintained? 4. Are there links on the website? If so, where do they lead? Do they lead to other academic materials, or to commercial or entertainment sites? Notice commercial or entertainment sites. Taking these separately, you would have commercial sites, that is, modifier plus noun, versus entertainment sites, compound. However, together, these seem to be pronounced as though they were both compounds. Commercial or entertainment sites. The reason commercial is accentuated as though it were the first member of a compound is because it is appearing in an implicit contrast with the other kinds of sites that have just been mentioned, academic sites. Let's read that again. Are there links on the website? If so, where do they lead? Do they lead to other academic materials, or to commercial or entertainment sites? The answers to any of these questions may not provide you with conclusive evidence of anything, but with more information at your disposal, you'll be better equipped to assess the legitimacy of the sources you have found.